All right. Good evening, good afternoon. What's going on, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. We'll get started here momentarily. Gonna test out some new stuff here. Make sure my audio is working. So we'll pop open the chat here. Kat, Julie, Kelly, Dawn, Jas, Fordo, Elizabeth. What is going on, guys? Good Sunday afternoon to all of you. Let me know how the audio sounds, and we'll get started here momentarily. This is going to be our a weekly stream here that is going to talk about the upcoming week ahead. Sound good? Sound good? Okay, sweet. Let's go ahead and dive in here in just a second here. Working out some of these bugs over here on my end. So we're going to talk about the upcoming week here. There's not much to talk about, but there is one thing we're going to talk about in specific that I think people are turning attention to, at least with the upcoming week of weather here in Michigan. So starting with our temperatures next couple of days here. On your screen here, we're seeing the temperatures for the next several days, 4 or 5 or so, going to be in the 50s, perhaps even a 60 stat here across Michigan. Tuesday and Wednesday will likely be just a little cooler in nature, especially further north. If you live close to the Indiana or Ohio borders, you guys are going to be close to the 50 to 60 degree range for most all these days. The further north you go, especially on Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to say north of Lansing, we're seeing the temperatures are probably going to be colder, 40s, maybe even 30s up in the UP. So those are going to be the 2 days that are going to be a little bit cooler in nature. But then attention then turns to the weekend time frame, especially Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday as well. But Friday, Saturday is a big day to watch here. But overall, looking at the precipitation for the next couple of days here, looking at the European model showing systems moving through, we're dry. Maybe a few snowflakes in the UP for late Monday into early Tuesday, not going to amount to much at all. Then we're going to stay dry again. Another passing snow shower perhaps on Wednesday for the UP. Attention is going to shift here to the west of us right around the late Friday evening time frame here. We're seeing this really deep, strong, low pressure system on the models here that's going to pull up moisture from the Gulf as it moves to the east northeast here. As it does so, it may bring us rain and perhaps some snow chances as well. But for right now, rain for sure, as we're going to be really warm. All of this system, because the system is so strong, it's going to be able to pull up a lot of moisture, a lot of warm air from the south here into Michigan. So looking at back here at the temperature chart, that's why we're seeing 69, 72, and 65 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here. That's going to be one to watch here for potential for heavy rainfall and perhaps even some storms as well. So past that, though, the week is pretty dry in nature. It's going to be a really pleasant week. I did not have graphics loaded in here for the next 7 days here, but just believe me, we're going to be in the 50s and 60s. And then if you're further north, you do expect 40s or so. But overall, very warm, pleasant week here. So what are we watching with that weekend system? Well, for number one, we have a couple of these models here we use. The main one that I'm going to show you guys today is what we call the CSU. The Colorado State University is what CSU stands for. It's basically a probabilistic, it's a probability forecast based on the GFS and the FV3 model here. It spits out, wind shear instability, puts it all together. It spits out a probability for severe weather. And yes, we are talking severe weather today. So while we don't know for sure if Michigan's going to be impacted for this, we are seeing signs that to our south and west, especially in that red zone there, we are seeing probabilities that are higher in nature for severe weather. This is for Friday. Notice Michigan is in brown color. That brown color is only indicating about a 5% probability at this time, whereas the red is 30 to 45%. So very low probability for severe weather for Friday. Our attention, though, is kind of shifted more so towards Saturday. As the system kind of plays out, it may be lingering or stalling enough to lift a little bit more moisture, perhaps some instability up into Michigan. We'll keep an eye on Saturday in particular. Right now, we're too far out. But for right now, though, we're going to base it off the SPC guidance. So SPC for Friday, a very large 15% slight risk in effect from Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, back down through Louisiana, Texas. Does not currently include Michigan. We may see a slight or a marginal risk added later on for perhaps Western Michigan. Keep an eye on that. Our system to watch, though, is same system, should I say, our day to watch is going to be for that Saturday time period. For right now, the SPC does have that 15% probability well off to our south, and that is because our concern and our confidence is low because of the amount of moisture that could draw itself north here. So this is your moisture graph here from the European model. Just give you guys an idea. We're seeing the Gulf moisture getting pulled up north here right around that Wednesday time frame. And here he goes really strong here for your Friday. And then by the time Saturday runs around, notice how it's, it's kind of there, but it's also kind of not. We're having really good moisture returns back down here in the deep south. As you get further north, though, toward Michigan and the Ohio Valley, it's not as strong of moisture, not as deep as moisture. So that will play a factor in what is severe, what is strong, what is just rain showers. So that is the main thing to watch. Because confidence is low, that's why you see the slight risk well off to our south. That may be extended for Saturday. Right now, it's just no way of telling. But overall, it's going to be pretty interesting to watch here. Potential for our first stronger storm system that may bring us some thunderstorms here for the year. So that's the week ahead. It's pretty warm. Going to have a few days there that can be cooler in nature. Tuesday, Wednesday, especially further north of Lansing, you guys will be colder in nature. But overall, very warm week. Could be talking 70s by the time Friday, Saturday rolls around for a good chunk of Michigan. Going back to those temperatures here, I'll zoom into Michigan, kind of run this through day by day so you guys can see what I'm talking about in terms of those temperatures. So let's go ahead and run this through. This is your start over here. Here we go. So today we're seeing mid 50s, actually a 60-degree spot up in the UP. Surprisingly, as expected. Moving into Monday here, let's go ahead and pause it. Monday afternoon, right about here or so. We're seeing widespread upper 50s, perhaps 60 degrees in spots for pretty much the entire state, minus the eastern half of the UP. Going into Tuesday, Tuesday's that day I said we're going to be looking at like a split type of system here. And there's your temperatures for Tuesday. We're seeing the south in the 50s and the north in the 30s, perhaps even 20s. So Tuesday is going to be the day we're going to have kind of like the split system there, or a split temperature gradient, should I say. Then Wednesday, kind of as much of the same there. Further south and west could be in the 60s, 50s. Further north, 40s and 30s there. And then we're going to look at as a rebound for Thursday here. The entire state gets back into the 50s and 40s. And then Friday is a really warm day along with Saturday here. We're going to be looking at widespread upper 60s, perhaps even a 70 stat there for Friday. Saturday, much of the same here before the cold front from that system swings through and slams us with a little bit cooler air for late Saturday into the Sunday time frame. So that is the week ahead. Going into the very long term, the CPC, Climate Prediction Center guidance here, does show above average temperatures will continue throughout the later half of the month into early April, as well as a above average precipitation. So warm and wet is the key here throughout the next couple of weeks here in the Great Lakes region. All right, that is the week ahead, and I'm getting a lot of feedback in my ear, so I'm kind of getting thrown off here. I see a couple things. You guys, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was dinging. I don't hear that at all. Let me turn that off for you guys. They should be disabled now. Yeah, it shouldn't be ringing at all. I'm not sure why. I don't hear it on my end, so. All right, some questions and comments here. Again, this is new software. We're gonna get really yeah, I don't hear anything at all. We're getting all the bugs written out of this, so just bear with us. I should be off. Is it still going? Oh goodness, it's off, guys. It is off. The only thing it should be on for is for donations. That's the only thing that I have it turned on for. Members and donations from Twitch and YouTube. Otherwise, that is all I have. So let's go to the comments here. It should be off now. Still going? Okay, let me hop on here and see what's up with this. Because everything on my end is off. Still going? Okay, I don't hear anything on my end. Because everything on my end is off. I don't hear anything on my end. You said strong. How strong? So in terms of that low pressure system right now, 970s. That's a pretty strong low pressure system. It's going to be able to draw up a lot of moisture, a lot of warm air. So it's going to be pretty strong in nature. You may be hearing bomb cyclone terms like that thrown out there, and that is only because the system. Some models do show the system deepening, which a bomb cyclone would be 24 millibars in 24 hours. So we have to drop from about 1,000 millibars down to about 976. And that is going to be 24 millibars, 24 hours. So that would be considered a bomb cyclone. So that is why you hear that term being thrown around there. It's a possibility, but we're not going to know until it actually happens. So I think it's a little reckless to be advertising a bomb cyclone. But regardless, the system's going to be pretty strong in nature. Either way, it's going to bring us rain, perhaps some snow for the Western UP, not out of the question, but also potential there for winds as well as heavy rain as well, severe weather as well, should I say. And speaking of the winds, I will go ahead and pull up that wind map here for Saturday, just because we are seeing gusty winds that could top. I'm going to pause it right about there. So I see the latest. Hold on. Where am I at here? Right here. There we go. I'm not sure why it wasn't loading in. But right about there, we're seeing the wind gusts here across Michigan, 40 to 50 miles per hour. So that's going to be pretty windy during the day on Saturday. That could aid in getting some gusty showers and storms rocking and rolling here. So that's going to be something else to keep an eye on. If we get toward the higher ends of these gusts, 50 or so, we could be looking at power outages as well. A bomb cyclone is a low pressure system that deepens 24 millibars in 24 hours. So pressure of the system is measured in millibars, and that basically tells us how strong the system is. A typical low pressure system can be 990, 1,000, 1,010 millibars. This one coming in for the weekend right now is forecast to be somewhere in the 970 range, so quite strong. It may be one of the strongest systems in the Great Plains Midwest area since 2019. So it's going to be one of those systems that will probably cause a lot of headaches for you guys with pressure sensitivity. It's going to be windy. It's going to be warm, though, which is going to be nice, but also potential for severe weather. Going back to that SPC outlook there, already have a day 6 slight risk in effect to our west in Illinois down through the deep south Texas area. Saturday or perhaps late Friday night would be our risk here in Michigan if there's going to be a risk at all. And right now, confidence is very low in that just because the amount of moisture it gets this far north. We're not too sure on how it's all going to evolve. We could very well get moisture cut off to our south, and in return, just be some gusty rain showers for us. But if we get that moisture up for Saturday, we could be looking at some stronger storms as a possibility. But again, we're 6-7 days out from that. It's too early to call, and we're just going to watch it for right now. We're going to mention it, but we're not going to put out a forecast and say, yeah, we're going to have severe weather. No, nothing like that yet. Hazards for day 6. For right now, off to our west, I'm going to call it all hazards possible. But again, being 6 days away, being 5 days away, even 4 days away, even, we're going to be looking at a wide variety of solutions. Like a friend of mine out of Ohio, Nick Dunn, um, he refers to it as the Plinko. If you guys know what the Price is Right Plinko is, you have a chart or a graph, so to speak, of all these solutions on the bottom. You put like a little piece on top. It kind of goes through its like a little chart, try to get to the bottom. It's I can't explain things today very well, but what I'm saying is there's so many outcomes that are possible here that we're just not going to be sure on this until we get closer. But the overall idea of a bigger system moving through is definitely there. I do apologize for that dinging, guys. I do not know why that was turned on. It was turned off. Any questions, guys? Pretty quiet out there tonight, or today, should I say. So feel free to pop in here, ask your questions if you got them. We will answer them as we get them. What's up, Tangy? So for those of you just tuning in, kind of giving a recap for what's ahead. So starting with the temperature graph here for the next couple of days, we are seeing the overall trend here to a much warmer pattern. We're seeing 50s and 60s for the next couple of days here. This graph's based out of the Lansing area. And this is going to be for Sunday here at the far left. Then Monday is 59 here. Tuesday, Wednesday, a little bit cooler in nature. Further south you go, the warmer you're going to get. But further north of Lansing, we are going to be seeing much colder temperatures for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we're going to rebound Thursday, Friday, Saturday for pretty much the entire state. Upper 50s, low 60s, maybe even a run at 70 for your Friday and your Saturday. Okay, I see the overlay is back. Do you guys hear sound with that? You can also see on the bottom of your screen there, it's currently rolling through temperatures. So we're seeing Metro Detroit there at 53, Lansing at 51. So it's a pretty warm day out there as it is. Anyway, going forward into the upcoming week here, we are seeing the probability model at CSU, the Colorado State University model here, showing a good probability here for Friday in red for Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee area, back down through Louisiana. That is for severe weather concerns on Friday. And that does get close to Michigan. In fact, Michigan is in a 5% probability according to the CSU, so it's very low, likely not going to amount to much based on current data. Our system to kind of keep an eye on would be same system. I keep saying system, but the same system will move through on Saturday for us, which will be the day to keep an eye on here for us here in Michigan. A 15% probability is out for Southeast, but SPC does not agree with that just yet. Neither do we, based on the current guidance. We are concerned for moisture getting cut off to the south here. As we've seen a lot with our winter systems, we've had a lot of snow potential here, and all of a sudden we get a lot of dry air. Same thing applies to this system. We could see a lot of dry air that gets cut off, or a lot of moisture gets cut off. We end up with dry air. May not be much of a big deal here in Michigan, but bears watching. We could see us go either way. Just too far out right now to kind of keep an eye on at this point and hope for the best. But do want to mention that for you guys who are hearing all the hype about this system. And right now, I would expect there to be severe weather on Friday to our west and south there across the Ozarks, the Missouri, the Great Lakes West region, Illinois, Iowa, that area. Definitely a possibility to get severe weather on Friday. But for us here in Michigan, it's just too uncertain. Timing is not on our side as of right now. That could change. Hayden, it would be either a late Friday or Saturday event for us here in Michigan if we get anything strong or severe. Even though we are 6 days out, what do you think will happen? So Delta, anything is possible there. A lot of times we see a lot of hype leading up to these systems and something happens, either we're too cloudy, for example, on a day of, not enough instability, wind shear profiles are not as strong as forecasted. A lot could happen. So right now, I think this is going to all come down to the moisture returns both days. Although I do think Friday has better potential for severe weather to our west and south than we do here in Michigan either one of the days. So I would expect Friday to be the bigger day of the two. Saturday is going to be dependent on how Friday plays out. Okay, awesome. So no chat dings anymore. So we fixed it. Good. Good, good. All right. Any other questions here, guys? I know we are in Michigan and weather does its own thing, but do you think we'll be actually done with winter and currently in the real spring? Christina, looking at the 15-day temperature forecast here, it depends on what you define winter as. We are seeing a cool down here around like the 17th or so after our system passes on Sunday. A cool down likely to start next week. Not this week, but next week. And that's going to be still 30s and 40s. So not really cold, but still, it's definitely a possibility we get more snow here. In fact, going on the European model and going to go back to the multi-parameter precip thing here to run this through, we are seeing potential here for early next week. A snow system could move through, light snow possibility there, too far out to say specifics, but definitely, I don't think we're done with winter yet. In terms of big snow, I'd say it's more unlikely, but these little passing systems that could dump an inch or two, that's still a possibility. Are the lows looking like they're going to stay above freezing? So currently, I'm going to say no. We're seeing numerous days here 25, 27, 29, 24, 25. We are not to planting season just yet, guys. So, no. We're going to be pretty warm for our highs, but for our lows, we're still going to be feeling quite winterish. I have looked at AccuWeather and it says there could be damaging winds on Saturday. Yeah, there could be. Could is the key word there. We're still 6 days away. Let's not jump to conclusions here. A strong system will likely move through, but what flavor of weather it's going to give us is just not yet known. We are never safe from snow until May. That is very true. That is so true. I remember a few years ago, I don't know how many years ago, but I remember seeing snow in May, and I was like, huh, pure Michigan. It's not uncommon to get snow in April. May is a little bit more uncommon, but April still a possibility for sure. New banners looking nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. I can also do a couple things here. It puts two of me on the screen too. You may see two of me. Hi. We got a lot of fancy stuff here rolling out. The green in my sweatshirt is picking up the MSC logo in your spot. I noticed that. I noticed that. I'm gonna have to have Joel help me change that because I see myself here. I got a little bit of a see-through transparency to me. The SPC will expand when days get closer, likely, especially for Friday. I would definitely expect there to be a 30% risk involved here. If not tomorrow morning, probably the day after as we get closer to it. Increase wording, but also don't be shocked if you see a marginal risk or a low risk for Michigan added, like for the western half, for example, because if this does play out on Friday, we'll have probably a line of storms pushing our direction, arriving late at night. That may give us some gusty wind potential there for either late Friday or early Saturday. But again, 6 days out, timing and such can change. But initial thinking, yeah, you'll probably get a lot of colors added here pretty soon. Yeah, Delta, they likely will, at least for Friday. Again, Saturday is more uncertain just because the moisture returns. We'll have to get more confidence or less confidence. But right now, I would agree with the SPC. Keep it down in the deep south there. I wouldn't bring it too far north. Alexis says there's no tornadoes in Michigan. It's still March. That is a myth. We had tornadoes in Michigan last year in the month of February. While it's rare in February, it is much more common in March to get tornadoes. Think of the Dexter tornado, 2012. That happened on March 15th. That'd be a good example. We've had numerous tornadoes in Michigan in the month of March, and that is when our season usually gets kicked off and going. So tornadoes have happened in Michigan every single month of the year, even January, even November, even December as well. So it's not impossible, but yes, it is uncommon during the winter months. Yeah, with that system as well, I see a potential. A couple people talking about like a blizzard stuff like that, but not for us here in Michigan. But with this system, because it's so strong and so deep, we're likely going to see on the backside over here in the plains area, perhaps even Minnesota, perhaps a blizzard-like conditions on the backside because it's so windy over there. Definitely a possibility for our friends to the west. But as it sits right now, all of Michigan is in a rain corridor here. Maybe some snowflakes late Saturday to end it for the UP. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, though. It shouldn't be an accumulating snow, unless something shifts or changes, which is still possible, but right now looking unlikely. Jack says last year there were a lot more tornadoes than average for us. That's actually not true, Jack. We had 17 tornadoes last year, and our average is 16. Although, if you want to be specific and really get technical, if you take the 50-year average, it's 16 tornadoes. If you take the 30-year average, it's only 13. So you could say it's above average, maybe. But for the 50-year average, not really. 17 versus 16 is not that much above average. Bridget says, I can't wait to get a good thunderstorm. That's how most of our staff feels here as well. We are kind of itching to get out there and hear some thunder and see some good storms. Obviously, don't want damage that goes along with it, but just going out there and getting acquainted back with the warmer storms, that'd be beneficial for a lot of our team. Yeah, Jack, look at the 30-year average, then yeah, you can say it's above average. 13 tornadoes would be the average between current date and dating back to 1990. So you could say, yeah. All right, been live here for about a half hour or so. Any more questions, guys? What's up, Smiths? What's up, Dawn? Kyle says, can't wait. And yeah, we'll be live here on Saturday or Friday in terms of if the system will be severe for us. We'll be here covering it as we always do. So we got you guys covered no matter what. We'll post updates on Facebook as well leading up to the event, how it's trending, how it's looking, so on and so forth. So stay tuned. We got you covered. I'm a spotter in northern lower Michigan. Can't wait to go out. Bridget, you should send us a message if you live in northern Michigan. We're looking for chasers there. If you're interested in joining the team, we'll have you fill out a mini test, and if you pass, we'll get you on board if you're interested. You too, Jack. No problem. Sally. Kim says, I like the little jumping dude under you, Ryan. Yeah, that is our new, it's called Alert Box. Every time somebody donates, likes, subscribes, follows, it'll pop up there with a little bit of a shout out because with our new software, we're not going to have everything on one screen anymore. I have chat over here. I have the software over on my right. I got models up there. Like it's all over the place. So if we miss something, that little notification jumpy man will shout you guys out. I can make it really annoying. Turn the alert back on for you. I can actually make it talk too, but I won't. I won't do that. No problem, Cindy. Any time frame on Friday. So as of right now, I'm going to say as of now because it's still subject to change. But going off models and what models have said, it'd be a very late Friday evening, Friday night event into Saturday. You too, Jess. No problem, Kim. No problem, Annie. I think we're gonna pop out of here, guys. We have a lot, not a lot actually, to talk about. It's gonna be a little bit warmer upcoming in the week, and then that late week, Friday, Saturday. Keep an eye on that for potential strong or perhaps severe storms. Don't get too excited or too worried about it just yet. We're still 6 days away. A lot can change, but for right now, we're going to watch that. We'll have updates daily on YouTube and also Facebook leading up to that system. So I think we are going to pop out here. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons on your way out. And I'm going to try and play the outro here and simultaneous here. Let's just try and see if this works. So if this malfunctions, we're going to laugh together. But if this works, I'll see you guys tomorrow on YouTube for another update video. All right, you guys take it easy.